welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching the news at 10 on Channels Television, coming to you live from Lagos. A reminder of our top stories. Former Attorney General of the Federation, Muhammad Adoke, taken into custody by EFCC shortly after arriving in the country following his release by the authorities in the United Arab Emirates. Federal government vows to prosecute 22 former governors and other public officials accused of corruption to a logical conclusion. President Buhari approves recomposition and inauguration of the NDDC board after completion of the forensic audit of the commission. And US President Donald Trump impeached after a vote in the House of Representatives, described by the Senate Republican leader as a partisan rage. For more information on our top stories and others, do visit our website, channelstv.com. YouTube.com/channelsweb has videos of all our shows. The president is giving the police force and all other security agencies across the country the assurance that his administration will continue to pay closer attention to their welfare. President Muhammadu Buhari offered this commitment when he officially commissioned the second regular cadet officers in the Nigeria Police Academy in Kano. Shortly after inspecting the parade in Kano today, he asked the officers not to be tempted by corrupt inducements. Our correspondent Idris Jibrin reports.
It is the second passing out parade and second visit of President Muhammadu Buhari to the Police Academy since it became a degree awarding institution. It is also a moment of happiness for these officers and men of the academy after completing a 4-year course with bachelor's degree certificates in various fields. They are now assistant superintendents of police, officially inaugurated by the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. President Buhari gives assurance that his administration will continue to pay closer attention to the welfare of the police officers and all other security agencies across the country.
The mission of the academy is to produce superior police officers that are equipped with the knowledge and skills to police Nigeria with its unique complexity.
The leadership of the police academy say lack of infrastructure and poor funding are factors limiting the academy's plan to introduce courses like cybercrime, crime management, and conflict resolution.
Despite these challenges, the academy has endeavored to provide an environment conducive for learning and research into high-level policing and general service to the public.
The second passing out parade was attended by the governor of Kano State, Abdullahi Ganduje, the Inspector General of Police, the emirs of Kano, Bichi, Rano, Gaya, and Karai, as well as families of the graduates. Idris Jibrin, Channels Television News.
Meanwhile, President Muhammadu Buhari has also ordered the recomposition of the Niger Delta Development Commission Board led by Mr. Pius Udubu. The president stated this on his verified Twitter handle, while also validating the existence of the Interim Management Committee of the Commission, led by Dr. Joy Nune. A statement from the President's Special Advisor on Media and Publicity, Mr. Femi Adesina, also explains that supervisory power over the Commission would continue to rest with the Ministry of Niger Delta Affairs. The statement adds that the President has directed that the interim management team of the NDDC shall be in place till the forensic audit is completed. The NDDC board, which was screened by the Senate on October the 30th, 2019, has not been inaugurated by the President, a situation that has raised a lot of concern from stakeholders and groups in the Niger Delta region. And on the heels of the presidential endorsement, the NDDC Interim Management Committee has discovered power station components worth $34 million abandoned at the Nigeria Ports Authority in Rivers State since 2017. The details of the discovery were provided by the NDDC's Acting Executive Director of Projects, Dr. Cairo Ojubo. According to him, the IMC, led by himself, and the Executive Director of the Finance and Administration had received a report on the NDDC cargo and quickly visited the MPA to see the abandoned equipment meant for NDDC substations in Akwa Ibom State. During the inspection, Dr. Jubo observed that the new board, whose reconstitution was ordered by the President, would have continued the same pattern of maladministration by its predecessors. Let's cross over to Abuja now, and here's Linda Akigbe. Linda?
Hello, Ijoma. Now, the National Economic Council at its 100 meeting has expressed satisfaction with the drop in the proliferation of small arms due to the closure of the nation's land borders. It also notes improved collaboration at the zonal levels by states to tackle insecurity. These are some of the outcomes from the Council's Committee on Security, chaired by Ekiti State Governor Kayode Fayemi. Vice President Yemi Oshibajo chaired the NEC meeting, which received briefing from its subcommittee set up at the last meeting to look at the possibility of funding infrastructure projects from pension funds.
Up to 20% of the pension funds under the current law can be used for infrastructure. And last NEC meeting, there was a review of the performance of the Nigerian Sovereign Investment Authority, and we are all impressed about their experience they have gained in the last few years and their performance. And it was decided that the committee will be set up to see how we can leverage on that performance to create a platform where pension funds can be used for infrastructure development in a safe manner, so that they will earn long-term returns for the pension funds while also helping build Nigeria's infrastructure. So today, the subcommittee presented an interim report where they advise on some of the issues that came up in deliberating. Of particular note is the fact that other countries have been using the same mechanism. South Africa, Saudi Arabia, and other countries have been using their pension fund and the Sovereign Wealth Authority's investment process to create a platform.
And over to the National Assembly. The Senate Committee on Judiciary, Human Rights and Legal Matters is requesting memoranda from the Department of State Services, the Attorney General of the Federation, and Omoyele Showare's lawyer, Mr. Femi Falano, on the alleged invasion of the Federal High Court by the DSS. The committee is also asking the Executive Secretary of the National Human Rights Commission, the Office of the Chief Judge of the Federal High Court, and the presiding judge at the time of the alleged invasion, Justice Ijeoma Ojukwu, to also submit memoranda detailing the events of that day.
What we resolve to do, however, as a committee, because we still have to report back to the Senate, is to implore the DG, DSS, the Solicitor General and Permanent Secretary, Minister of Justice, the ES National Human Rights Commission, Mrs. Femi Falano, and co, and any other interested stakeholders from within the civil society present here to please avail us, with their memorandum, within the next 24 hours. We will really appreciate that, because we have to do a report for the Senate, and the fact that all of you have chosen to be here to honor this invitation shows that we all mean well for this country, but we have to come to some conclusion. We have also contacted the Office of the Chief Judge of the Federal High Court as the Chief Custodian, of that sector, to give us their own perspective of what actually happened.
A coalition of 35 civil society groups have written to Governor Abdullahi Ganduje of Kano State, asking him to initiate the process of dethroning the Emir of Kano, Muhammadu Sanusi II. In the letter, the CSOs, under the umbrella of the Kano concerned civil society groups, say their request is in the interest of protecting the sanctity of the rule of law and the mandate given to the governor by the Kano electorate. The group says it is curiously studying the unfolding events relating to the lingering face-off between the government of Kano State on one hand and the Emir of Kano on the other hand. The letter, signed by the chairman of the coalition, Comrade Ibrahim Ali, cites the Kano State Emirate Council law enacted by the State House of Assembly, which empowers the governor to take disciplinary action against the Emir. And when the News at 10 returns, NNPC raises January official selling prices for Bonny Light and Kwaibo crude as minor export loading program for February emerge. That's in business news. Please stay with us.